Advance the program's 5-year history. Catch the gate into the playoffs as they skate into the playoffs with Ice Rink Classics against the Patrick Division in their quest for the Cup.
Across the blue line. Gustafson drops it for Cicerelli. Cuts to the net. A deep shot. And a goal!
See the brightest stars shine with exclusive coverage of the NHL's Stanley Cup playoffs, including the returning champion Edmonton Oilers.
Brady Anderson. Dorsalak back to the wall and makes a spectacular catch. Anderson, did he come up with it? Yes! Vanasek to the wall. He leaps and he's got it!
And you'll get the Baltimore Orioles in at least 10 diamond duels featuring Oakland, Minnesota, and Boston.
Bernard King.
The Bullets lick 5 regular season opponents, including matchups with Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas. Plus, you'll see the debut of the Washington Post Sports Talk Show and much, much more on Home Team Sports.
Today, our expedition came upon the grandest canyon I ever did see. Our leader promptly named it Grand Canyon. Heck, my mule could have thought up a better name than that.
When something's spectacular, you don't need a spectacular name. So, at Hardee's, we call our burger the Big Deluxe. Thicker, juicier, more burger to win you over.
I would have named it the Amazingly Huge Hole.
The Big Deluxe. More burger, less name.
So what would have been so terrible if I had a small fortune?
If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-boom. If I were a wealthy man, hey, I wouldn't have to work hard. All day long I'd biddy-biddy-boom. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard.
Remember when I made the cocoa vine?
Yes.
I had a dinner party for like 19 people, my first dinner party ever. And the recipe calls for pearl onions, the fresh pearl onions. I never used them before, and I found them at Safeway.
From the everyday to the exotic, you'll find more fresh produce at Safeway.
And then when I got them home, I had to call her to find out what to do with them.
Go take a look. Come see the difference at Safeway.
Another playoff-type period here at the Capitol Center on this Friday night. A sellout crowd of the Canadiens trailing the Washington Capitals on 2 goals in that second period by a score of 2-0. Welcome back, Jeff Rimmer with you. A pleasure to welcome certainly the ageless veteran of the Montreal Canadiens defense, Larry Robinson. And Larry, we talk in terms of playoff-type hockey, and these two teams, again, showing the fans just an outstanding game and very reminiscent of playoff-type games.
Well, when you consider this is our 3rd game and there's only been, what, 7 goals scored in 3 games, it's, you know, we're very similar teams in that we take a lot of pride in our defensive game. But it's a little tough out there tonight for both clubs. It's really hot in the building, and the puck's doing a lot of bouncing around. So the good passing plays and that aren't really going for either team, and it's one that's going to get the right number of bounces is going to win this one.
Larry, you played several outstanding seasons in the National Hockey League. You got a bit of a break there, a bit of a reprieve. I think you might have once or twice before in your career gone down to Florida here for a little bit of a rest, but in recent weeks got a chance to get away, and I understand you watched a little polo, but couldn't play a sport that you really love, almost as much as hockey.
Well, Jeff, it's, you know, the rest really, it was more just getting away from the rink, I guess. Most of the guys had that week off when we were out at the All-Star game, and Coach Burns asked me if I wanted to take the time off, and my wife and daughter were going down to Florida as it was, and I thought it might be a nice time to maybe spend some time down there, and I've got quite a few friends that I play polo with during the summer that are down there, so got a chance to get on a horse and fool around, but didn't try to get in any games for sure.
Let's talk about this Washington Capitol Hockey Club. Of course, a very close friend of yours when he was with the Montreal Canadiens is Rod Langway. He came over, of course, in the big trade. The Capitals have grown in recent years. What are your thoughts here on this Washington organization as the playoffs approach?
Well, they've made quite a few trades over the last couple of years, and certainly the last one with, you know, a mainstay here, Mike Gartner going and bringing in Dino Cicerelli. I think, you know, Dino's a proven playoff competitor, and he can, I think he can handle himself, and he's proven that he can handle himself in the rough going. But I think the best acquisition for him was Johansson on defense. He seems to fit in very, very well. He's carrying the puck exceptionally well, and also they've gotten a proven goaltender in Don Beaupre.
What do you think? A lot of hockey fans, a lot of hockey experts predicting this could be a preview of the two teams to meet in the conference championships.
Well, as you know, in playoffs anything can happen, and neither team has a cakewalk into the finals of this conference, and it's going to be tough. The Rangers are always tough in the playoffs. Philadelphia are proven winners, so you know, they're going to have their hands full in their division, and certainly with Boston and Buffalo and Hartford or Quebec, whoever we meet in our division, it's not going to be easy as well.
Well, you got that fountain of youth, Larry. We hope you're around hockey for a long time as a player, and then again as a coach. You're a class guy.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Larry Robinson of the Montreal Canadiens, and we'll be back with more of our second intermission right after this.
Kodak and People's Drug Stores present Flashback. It's March 21st, 1985, and the Capitals are playing the Canadiens at Montreal's Forum. 1 month earlier, Cap center Bobby Carpenter scored his 42nd goal of the season, breaking Joe Mullen's season NHL record for goals by an American. But on this night, Carpenter guns for number 50.
Backs it up for Stevens. He winds a drive. A save, a shot. There goes. Bobby Carpenter becomes the first American-born hockey player ever to score 50 goals in a season.
It's drive.
'93 installed.
I know Merchants Tire and Auto Centers have all the famous brand tires at guaranteed lowest prices, but I didn't know they do repairs too. Everything from oil changes to tune-ups and brakes. And best of all, Merchants treats my car like it's their own. And only Merchants has these written guarantees. So I guess I go to Merchants because I trust them.
Service that you trust. Guaranteed.
Merchants Tire and Auto Centers.
In the Tidewater area, you know the Henry Johnson Tire and Auto Centers.
And in Durham, you know the Rigsby Tire and Auto Centers,
Well, they're all part of the Merchants Group.
where you can get service that you trust. Guaranteed.
After all those meetings in Minneapolis and conventions in Kansas City, we think you could use a little change of pace. And after 40,000 miles in TWA's frequent flyer program, that's just what you get. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are. Because sometimes the shortest distance between 2 points is not a line, TWA created the Advanced Boarding Pass. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
The big difference between someone who spent $76.82 on a Chevy S10EL and someone who spent it on just any truck is that the S10EL owner likes to be seen. For just $76.82, the Chevy S10EL gives you racing stripes, fuel injection, and a 5-speed.
If that's all that truck costs, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Bon appetit.
Watching Home Team Sports, the channel you cheer for.
At the end of 2 periods of hockey at the Capitol Center, it's Washington 2 and Montreal 0. Mike Bournes and Al Koken welcoming you back once again to our Home Team Sports hockey coverage tonight. That's the way this game is supposed to be played. Everybody in this building, you walk out through the hallway here, and everybody just thought that was a terrific period of hockey.
Picked up the pace. There was plenty of hitting, plenty of action, but that just it. We talked about it between periods. When you get the guys who have so much speed going, really working on their offense as well as playing some smart defense, that's the type of good, checking, exciting game. Pick up a few goals, and that's why you got the place talking.
Let's take a look at our TWA shot chart and show you how the shots went during the first period, or the second period, I should say, for the Washington Capitals. A few more of them this time.
A few more of them and some better spots. You see Dale Hunter able to get himself shaken free in front for the big goal. A nice one from Dino Cicerelli on a bouncing shot. Now we'll show you the couple different angles of these goals, and first show you how the forward-checking pressure of Bobby Gould makes a difference. Young defenseman Eric Desjardins in there. Gould is on top of him, so Desjardins can't really make a play. He just throws up the boards. Anticipating that play is Portnoy, setting it up perfectly right in front where Dale Hunter had gotten away in front. Desjardins was trying to get back in front of the net, Green in front of the net, but Jeff Courtnall, known more for his shot than his passing, makes a beauty right onto the stick of Dale Hunter, number 18 on the year, but that forechecking game, getting on top of the defense, makes all the difference there to get the Capitals into the 1-0 lead. Then there was a nice little break, too. Dino Cicerelli comes in, takes the shot, it strikes Larry Robinson a bit, and watch the way this puck bounces on the ice. It's there and flips up, and that is what throws off. Brian Hayward goes right between the pads. Cicerelli's second goal as a member of the Washington Capitals, number 34 on the year. That was unassisted. 2-0 lead for the Capitals.
For the Montreal Canadiens, a better period in terms of the number of shots on goal, and their TWA shot chart will show you exactly where they came from.
Had some good chances against Pete Peters. Russ Courtnall with a big shot that gets between the pads of Peter, but he still is able to kick out. Still, though, look, the Capitals really have not let much go right in front in that crease. A couple more shots from the slot. You get one from Naslund, one from Richer. Those are two guys who have bullets when they shoot. But the Capitals have done a good job pretty much gobbling up rebounds, and been very impressed with the way they've been able to get that third man back a couple times tonight, watching Michael Pabanka make up a lot of ground to be that third man. When it's been 3-on-2, Pabanka's fed back into the zone to make it 3-on-3. It's really made a difference. We showed you how that stick-swinging incident between Hunter and Walter started. That was because Dale Hunter was the third man back, preventing Ryan Walter from getting a scoring chance. So the Capitals are skating at both ends of the ice, getting some offense going, but using their speed to back-check as well, helping out their defense tremendously are the forwards.
Well, the only thing is now, the Washington lead is at 2 goals.
That's right.
They can bury that, they'll be fine. Back with more hockey at the Capitol Center after these words.
This year, if you really want to get money back, listen to Henry Block.
Go to Subaru.
Up to $1,500 cash back or 4.9 APR financing.
Of all the Subarus registered since 1978, 92% are still on the road, which could mean this four-wheel drive Subaru will still be good on a hill when other cars are over it.
In April '84, my friend Larry bought this carburetor at Track Auto because they're known for having the lowest prices. Now, 69,000 miles later, Larry and I are about to test Track Auto 7-year, 70,000-mile auto parts warranty. Get a shot of that sign. Yo, got a problem here.
Well, we'll be glad to give you a new one, but are you sure there's any gas in the car?
Gas in the car? Larry, is there any gas in the car?
If you need it, Track's got it.
Larry is a doorknob.
Track Auto.
This year, my son and I took some time to photograph the beauty of nature. Then, naturally, we looked for the Kodak Color Watch seal. The Color Watch seal means that Kodak system checks the developing for great color. But our father and son see things differently. This is my idea of natural beauty, and this is his. The Kodak Color Watch system. You're going to thank me for it. Because he's single, see, and...
Stop by any People's Drugstore for the quality film developing your prints deserve.
What's the difference between a fresh biscuit and Hardee's biscuit made fresh from scratch? This should give you some idea. Right.
Hardee's Rise and Shine biscuits, made fresh from scratch because we're out to win you over.
Our home team sports coverage of Washington Capitals hockey is brought to you by Capital Cadillac Company, home of the Capital Commitment, featuring lifetime lubrication, oil and filter change with the purchase of your new Cadillac. Washington leads Montreal 2-0 as we're ready to start the third period. Let's check in downstairs with Jeff Rimmer.
We visited with Larry Robinson, certainly one of the character players on this Montreal Canadiens hockey club. But you know, there's another one, and at one time he wore the uniform of the Washington Capitals. As Mike Fornes and Al Koken pointed out, Ryan Walter, the former Washington Capitals team captain, very much at home in the Montreal Canadiens organization. Ryan Walter traded to the Montreal Canadiens shortly after that Save the Capitals charity effort, and of course Ryan Walter very much at home in that Montreal uniform. Ryan Walter had a chance not too long after the trade to perhaps leave Montreal, go to another organization. But once he put on that Canadiens uniform, he talked in terms of the pride and the character, and certainly the success of that franchise, and is very much a big part of that Montreal franchise now as they go after yet another Stanley Cup. And as we all know, the Montreal Canadiens lead all of the NHL in Stanley Cup victories. The Capitals would like to change that this spring, and they'll get that opportunity here in the coming weeks. But right now, we've got third period action. Caps lead by 2, and with the play-by-play, Mike Fornes and Al Koken.
All right, Jeff, thanks very much. Well, thanks to Paul Berry from Channel 7 here in Washington, the new Caps theme is Win with Wong. And that man, Stan Wong, was had the honor placed on his shoulders, and now the T-shirts are already in the dressing room. The players wearing shirts that say "Win with Wong," and Paul Berry was the man who thought that one up. And the players are jumping right on that slogan. Capitals trainer Stan Wong. Here's a shot by Courtnall, right on. The save by Hayward. The puck's loose and was still moving, really, but it disappeared from the sight of referee Dave Newell, and play is called.
Well, as they did in that second period, the Caps come out and get the immediate pressure on Brian Hayward. Hayward really closed out the second period in grand fashion with some big saves, first on Cicerelli, then on Pavanka. Here Courtnall unloads from high in the slot. Bobby Gould batting the rebound once, twice, and 3 Canadiens gather around Hayward and shovel the puck into him.
McPhee jammed up in the corner. Bob Gould tries to dig it out. Back to the point. Hatcher flips it on net. Hayward makes the glove save and drops it off for Chelios. Now back to McPhee. Skrudland goes rink wide, and Chelios has to chase it back into Montreal ice. Left side pass for Skrudland. Out to center. Chelios across the blue line. Slap shot blocked by Scott Stevens and clears it out to center. Before Courtnall can get to it, Chelios dumps it right back inside the Washington zone. Both teams completing line changes, and here comes Mike Ridley. His pass intercepted. Guy Carbonneau, a blast. Peters takes it right between the pads and holds on long enough. Hatcher moves it out of there. Here's Ridley inside the Montreal end. Bob Gainey takes him over. Pokes it out to center ice. Ryan Walter to Guy Carbonneau. Shot blocked by Rouse. And Johansson steers it up the boards. Now out to Kelly Miller. Miller to the blue line. Back to the point. Rouse a shot off the skate of Dufresne. It goes wide. Now here's Ridley in the corner. Checked by Don Dufresne. Pavanka tries to work it free. At the blue line, Johansson tries to keep it in, does, but now the Canadiens start back. Bob Gainey to center as Montreal engineers yet another line change. Here's Pete Peters back into his own zone, stopping behind the net for Rouse. Maybe a little wet around that goal. The puck's not moving real well, and here's Christian trying to keep it going. Bobby Smith takes over. Now up the sideboards, Mike Keane. Can't control it. Dino Cicerelli starts back across the blue line. Turns back at the point, puts it right in front, bouncing away from Christian. He centers, and Gustafson couldn't grab it. Cicerelli looking for Christian. Keeps it in. Dave Christian, a high shot. This one rises up into the seats. Out of play. I want to thank the Capitals fan club for a nice time at the appreciation dinner the other night at LaFont and Blue. Paul Berry, of course, was the MC and did a great job, and he's the one who came up with the Win with Wong theme at the Bank.
Paul has been a long-time season ticket holder for the Capitals. Out here with his wife.
Mentioned there's another Caps fan on the way, too. Congratulations for that. From the Berry family. Here's Christian trying to hustle to keep it in. He's knocked down, and Sheehy has to chase it back. Over now to Rod Langway. To Sheehy. Here's Naslund, a high shot, sends it over the shoulder of Peters. Didn't put the shot on net. Backhander in front by Bobby Smith. And Pete stops that while Langway does the clearing job and sends it all the way down. Icing should be waved off, and it is. Bobby Smith to center. Scott Stevens takes over inside the Capital zone. Out to Doug Wickenheiser. Right side for Steve Leach. Winds his drive. Kick save up off the glass. Wickenheiser puts it down behind the net. Offside, Montreal. There's a break in the action with a score. Capitals 2, Canadiens nothing.
Richard, let's make a deal. You loan me your new Cutlass Supreme and I'll fill her up. Dad, Olds gave me a year's supply of Exxon gasoline. Marilyn, $50 to use your new Tornado.
I got $1,500 back from Olds.
Sharon, need help financing your Cutlass Calais?
I got 4.9 financing. Sorry.
This is not your father's automobile.
Hey, kid.
This is the new generation. Hello!
3 ways to deal on every car in stock at your new generation Oldsmobile dealer today.
16:29 left to go in this third period. 2-0 lead for Scott Stevens' Washington Capitals team. Capitals have come out, put 4 shots on goal so far, 3 for the Canadiens in this period. Faceoff will be just outside the Washington blue line. Wickenheiser against Russ Courtnall. Russ Courtnall in there at center ice.
Ludwig, right side for Chelios, inside the Capital zone, throws it behind the net. And now it's taken away, and here comes Wickenheiser out for Washington. Franceschetti across the line to Leach. He fires wide. Franceschetti behind the goal. Can't center it. And now it's, is it under the glove of Hayward? Here's a big pile up at the side of the net. Leach was trying to find a loose puck. Franceschetti winds up throwing right hand. And he's got a more than willing opponent in there. I believe that's Guy Carbonneau. It all started with Steve Leach trying to find the puck, and the Canadiens took exception to him standing next to the Montreal goal. They pushed him out of there. Then all of a sudden in came Lou Franceschetti. Now we've got another one starting up as Leach is going to get going with Corson, and Corson is landing punches only on Leach's helmet. And you've got a ringside seat to this one. Down they go to the knees and then right back up again. Now Corson throwing some extras in there after Mark Perry arrives on the scene, and Leach won't be happy about that.
Well, it all starts, as Mike mentioned, with Stephen Leach trying to get this puck. Now, where is it? Looks like it's right up there on the top of the net. So Corson comes in, 2 shoves to Stephen Leach. Leach responds back. Now watch Chelios tackle Franceschetti from behind. In fact, I think you've got 2 Canadiens on Franceschetti. Watch it right here. The puck is up there behind on the netting. Corson, boom, boom. Now watch as Franceschetti comes into the picture. Right from behind now comes Courtnall. And you see Franceschetti, I guess it knocked down Chelios. So you got 2 guys with Lou Franceschetti. And finally, it's just Franceschetti and Chelios going in the original battle. Here are the penalties now.
Number 24, Chris Chelios, 2 minutes for roughing. Number 27, Shane Corson, 5 minutes for fighting. Washington, number 21, Steve Leach, 5 minutes for fighting. Washington, number 25, Lou Franceschetti, 2 minutes for roughing. The calls come at 3:52.
Well, it's time to give Cellular One a call. Now, for a limited time, you can lease a car phone for only $16.95 a month and get your first 100 minutes of calling time free. Call Cellular One today at 220-2000 in Washington and 1-800-CELL-1 in Baltimore.
2 minutes for roughing. Calls come at 3:52.
Time of the call is 3:52. I thought that was Carbonneau in there, but it's Chelios. And it evens out. Neither team will have the power play. And Corson had been upset for some time. He's been doing a lot of talking out there from way back in the second period. Both the referees and the Capitals.
Well, you've got 2 most penalized Montreal Canadiens players. We already told you, Chelios in the game tonight started with 175 minutes of penalties. Corson right behind him with 168.
Bobby Smith throws it back inside the Washington zone, and Neil Sheehy steers it up the boards. Out comes Mike Ridley on the attack. He leads it to the blue line, into the skates of Kelly Miller, and the Canadians quickly send it back out to center. Keane was on his way down after slipping, and Langway ran him over anyway. Here's Kelly Miller to center. Max Naslin starts to center ice. Across the line on the right wing. Centering pass, that hits the side of the net on Smith's shot. And now Sheehy to Langway. He flips it out to Miller. Miller to Pavanka. Right side for Ridley into the corner. Naslin checked by Pavanka. At the point. Shot bouncing loose. Rebound shot. And a goal! Dino Ciccarelli plays the hop and puts the Capitals into a 3-0 lead.
And Mike, here's the type of goal the Capitals believe Dino Ciccarelli now gives this team. It's a bouncing puck. It's a goal scorer's goal. You have to have a little touch to get these type. And there's Dino on the spot. Great play, though, by Mike Ridley. He maybe had the tougher bounce to try and deal with. Hold it in. Nice play, though. You see that puck shot in there by Johansson. Ridley keeps it alive. And boom, out of nowhere comes Dino Ciccarelli to pop it in the open net. The Canadiens had been pressing, but it's the Capitals that get the goal in this period. 3-0 now. That is the big one.
Second of the game, 35th of the season. Ciccarelli from Ridley and Johansson at 4:57. Dale Hunter to the blue line. Taken away by Desjardins. Leads it over now to Green. And Walter left side for Bob Gainey. Lined up at the blue line by Bob Rouse. Rick Green to Guy Carbonneau. Now taken by Courtnall. Back to the Washington line. Here's Rouse with it. Tipped to center by Hunter. Larry Robinson. Stick handles to the Washington line. Holds the puck as he skates down the left side. Trying to get away from Gould. Centers. Courtnall gets in there with his stick to deflect it. Johansson tripped up, trying to exit the zone. Finds Gustafson breaking down the right wing. Gustafson into the corner. Drops it off for Courtnall. Washington's Jeff Courtnall back to Gustafson. And taken away now by Brian Strudlin. Right ahead to center ice. Larry Robinson. Ring fly pass. Ciccarelli pokes that to center, and Dufresne dumps it right back into the Capitals' end. Dave Christian gets across the line. Gustafson was stuck inside the zone, and the Capitals are called offside. And Gustafson, 4 assists in his last 3 games. Now the penalties are over. Chelios and Francischetti released from the box. Speaking of assists, that one that Johansson just picked up on the Ciccarelli goal now makes him 5 assists in the last 4 games.
Nice play. Keep the puck in. Get it started. And he showed some excellent mobility and agility to get it out of the zone the last time despite being tripped up. Capitals really have had a nice bit of work done tonight from their defense.
Centering pass, and Miller fires right on goal, and Hayward makes the save. Ridley jammed up in the corner. Now Miller back to get it. Kelly Miller to Michael Pavanka. Centering pass in front of shot. And a goal! Mike Ridley scores from the goal mouth, and the Capitals go in front 4-0.
I want to see if Ridley really gets his stick on this, or if it's another one for the Capitals that goes off a skate. Again, look at the work done by Michael Pavanka. Despite getting hit, he gets it to Kelly Miller. And I think there you see it. Looks like it goes off the defenseman there in front, right onto Ridley's skate. I don't think Ridley ever gets this shot away cleanly. Yeah, it just deflects. McPhee it is, who comes into back check, pokes it, but pokes it onto Mike Ridley's skate. Watch, right onto Ridley's skate. But unlike the goal he scored in Boston, Ridley's not directing this in. This is just another inadvertent bounce, one that works perfectly for the Capitals. Happened the other night against Winnipeg as it goes off Courtnall's skate and in. Now it works to the advantage of the Capitals again for a 4-0 lead.
Washington really takes command now with Ridley's 37th of the season. Miller and Pavanka assisting at 7:02. We've got a Montreal player injured. Don Dufresne is down. They are calling for trainer Gaetan Lefebvre to come out. And he'll have a look at the Canadiens player Dufresne now, who is bent over just inside the line.
Well, Chelios is screaming for a penalty, but Dave Newell is saying no, it's a hit. It's a hit with the shoulder. And you can see it looks like Dufresne who's coming at him with an elbow.
He should have get the penalty if anybody. Well, Franciscetti's intentions were certainly legal. You could see the way he was planting himself for the hit, that he was just going to throw a shoulder check. But Dufresne was the guy who came up and had the elbow ready to go. Let's check in downstairs now with Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. And we check our NCAA tournament action from tonight. Georgetown winning a squeaker by a point as they come from behind in the closing seconds to beat Princeton. George Mason trailing Indiana University. That is a halftime score there. The Bullets lose a tough one tonight as they lose in overtime to the Nets. They're right back here. It's not over. We understand it is still continuing. They trail in overtime. And it's the 76ers who will be here tomorrow night at the Capitol Center. Of course, Orioles baseball returns Tuesday night to HDS as we bring you the game between the Yankees at Fort Lauderdale and our Orioles. Back upstairs to Mike and Al.
All right, Jeff Dufresne over on the bench right now. Gets over there under his own steam. Now watch it again. Franciscetti just dumps the puck in, and he sees Dufresne coming at him. And it's Dufresne who leads with that elbow. So if the stick of Franciscetti spinning around catches Dufresne, or if it's just the impact that knocks the wind out of Dufresne.
Doug Wickenheiser to work the draw now against Russ Courtnall. Caps get it. Back to the point. Stevens a shot. That one deflected just wide. Rick Green fishes for it. Can't find it. Now Wickenheiser pokes it out to center ice. Stéphane Richer, a bullet from the blue line, and Peters stops that. Out comes Franciscetti. Throws it in from center. Capitals change up as Matt Snaslin starts the rush to center ice. Gets across the blue line. Poke check there. And Russ Courtnall takes over. Hooked by Wickenheiser, but still has the puck. Courtnall dropping it back now to Green. Thrown in from center ice. Canadians have their line change underway. 11:35 to go, third period. Capitals in the lead 4-0. Mike Fornes with Al Koken and Jeff Rimmer. 18,130 on hand here. Sold out at the Capitol Center. Neil Sheehy in the corner. Can't get rid of it. Ryan Walter puts the pressure on in front of the net. That's knocked away by Langway. Now Gustafson works for the puck. Back to Sheehy. Sheehy to Gustafson. Up to center ice. Cicerelli across the line. Dino Cicerelli tries to throw it in front of the net. And Ludwig plays it into the corner. Ludwig bats it over to Chelios. On the side of the Montreal net. And that's where the puck rests and stops the play. With 10:52 to go here in the third period. Talk about some of the streaks that some of the Capitals players have going. And certainly there isn't a whole drought of scoring lately with the way these guys have been putting the puck in the net. Courtnall has an assist tonight. That gives him 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points in his last 5 games. He's only got 1 point in this game tonight. That's a dry spell for him, the way he's been going. Michael Pavanka comes up with an assist. Gives him 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points in his last 4 games. And Mike Ridley, with his 37th goal of the season, now has 6 goals, 7 assists, and 13 points in his last 9. So the Capitals are putting the puck in the net and doing it against a very good team here tonight. And the Montreal Canadiens, who, as we mentioned earlier, lead the NHL overall in points. They've been the best.
And it's been interesting, too, Mike, in this third period, the way the Capitals have not sat on the lead. They've gone right at Montreal. And I think that feeling now, since the trade, that it's a stronger team. It seems to be a more confident team. They feel they've got a defense that they can go 6-man at any time to keep themselves rested. They don't have to sit back and just play a couple people in the final moments of a hockey game. Now they can go with anybody out there, and it just seems to be the overall confidence of the team has dramatically improved since the deal.
Ridley ahead for Christian at the blue line. Tries to get by Chelios and shovels a shot wide into the corner. Ridley back for Dave Christian. Off the boards for the point. Kept in by Sheehy. Ridley throws it behind the net. Ciccarelli chasing after it. Christian tries to work it free, and now here come the Canadiens out on the attack. Chris Chelios flips it back inside the Washington zone. Rod Langway back after it. Right side for Christian. 10 minutes to play here in the third period. Washington's lead at 4-0. This will be an icing call as Rick Green gets the puck, and the faceoff reverts to the Capital zone. Caps coming into this contest, first place in the Patrick division, leading the Penguins by 1 and the Rangers by 2, the Flyers by 9. Neither the Devils nor the Islanders are expected to make the playoffs at this point. New Jersey 20 points back and the Islanders 27. And tonight the only game in the National Hockey League. So the Caps in action tomorrow night at Hartford against the Whalers. There'll be no television of that one. And then the other teams will be playing. So you got to make that hay while the sun shines, and the Caps with a good opportunity here to grab 2 points and further their Patrick division lead.
The Caps certainly were helped by a great Winnipeg performance the other night at Madison Square Garden as the Rangers continue to struggle as of late. They come up with a big game against Calgary, but couldn't come up with the same type of effort against Montreal, or against Winnipeg rather, and lose that game, and now the Capitals can take a 4-point lead over them and 3 over Pittsburgh.
Pete Peters shoves the puck to the corner. It comes out to Dale Hunter. He leads it off the boards to center ice. Sent back to the Washington line. Johansson taken away by Gilchrist. Behind the Caps net. Peters to Rouse and up the boards for Courtnall. Right wing side for Bobby Gould. Gould across the blue line. Tries to flip it in front. It goes to Hunter. He centers, but there's McPhee to take it away. Mike McPhee. Offside Montreal. 9:18 to go here in the third period. There's a break in the action. The Capitals lead the Canadiens 4-0.
An 89 Dodge Omni is just $117 a month. An 89 Shadow is just $154 a month. An 89 Dakota pickup is just $140 a month. Where? At All-Star Dodge, where just about everybody's credit is good. $500 down, cash or trade, lets everybody drive an 89. All-Star Dodge, Maryland's #1 Dodge retail dealer. #1, All-Star Dodge. See them today. Tell them Brooks sent you.
Exciting finish by the Bullets tonight. They are in overtime. 2 seconds remain. Bernard King, whose layup tied the game in regulation at the buzzer, has now hit a 3-pointer from the baseline, and the Bullets lead by 3 with 2 seconds left.
Thank you, Jeff. Chelios out to center ice and tried to find Richer. Now drops it at the blue line. Picked up by Larry Robinson. Carries across the line. Drop pass. Courtnall turning it right in front of the net. Corson couldn't get the shot off, and now Scott Stevens plays it ahead to center. Ridley across the line to Pavanka. Ridley putting it right in front. It bounces away from Kelly Miller. Stephane Richer gets a stick on the puck. It comes out to center, and Hatcher goes to chase it. Kelly Miller back into his own end to Scott Stevens. Kevin Hatcher back in the lineup tonight. Performed well for the Capitals and throws it in from outside the line. Here's Robinson. Right wing pass to center. Richey to the corner, but Wickenheiser's there first. He makes the move. To Stevens. Out to Leach. Leach to the blue line of Montreal. Cut off by Ludwig. Gets away from him. Now circles. And has it poked away. Langway chases back to his own end. Tie up behind the goal. Franciscetti throws a hit. And it's kicked outside the line by Bobby Smith. Here's a 2-on-1 break on Langway. Pass right in front. The Canadiens score. Bobby Smith and Mike Keane come in 2-on-1 on Rod Langway, and the Canadiens spoil Pete Peters' shutout bid at 12:22 of the third period.
Neil Sheehy gets caught up ice just a little bit, and the Canadiens are quick with it coming back. Excellent play, and once you get it over to Smith as Langway makes that commitment over there, Bobby Smith makes no mistake, snaps it up in that top corner. Wickenheiser was trying to get back into play, but Smith sends it over, then comes back into the front of the net. And a great job to get it to him from Keane. Bobby Smith has been such a consistent goal scorer for the Canadiens over the season. Doesn't make any mistake there to get the Canadiens on the board at 4-1. Excellent 2-on-1 play. Really the first time all night Montreal has had any kind of extra man break on the Capitals. And this time they really make it count.
Keane and Naslund assisting on Bobby Smith's 31st of the season at 12:22 of the third period. Gustafson sweeps it away, but now Stevens presses in against the baseboard. The puck comes loose. And here's Bobby Smith again. Sends it right on goal. Peters makes the save. Nobody around him. He's forced to play it, and Gustafson has it. Gustafson out to Scott Stevens. Tosses it back inside Montreal ice. 6:45 to go in the third period. Gustafson over to Christian, and the Canadiens come back. Ryan Walter dumps it across the blue line. Into the corner goes Bob Rouse. He and Walter tie up. Ridley tries to dig it free. Robinson hits him, but Pavanka skates away. Out to Calle Johansson. To Pavanka in the corner. Has it behind the net. Pavanka still with the puck. Now over to Ridley. He's alone. A deke, a shot, and a save made by Hayward. Pavanka trying to center. DiCarbono blocks that back to Chelios. Rouse in the corner looking for the puck, but it's cleared out of there by Robinson. Back to center ice. Now Rouse dumps it right back in. 5 minutes and 49 seconds to go. Third period. Capitals lead 4-1. Robinson back into the Washington end. Gould out to Courtnall. Neil Sheehy to Bobby Gould. Gould across the line. And Strudlin scoops it up. Over to Chelios. Back to Green. Courtnall throws it to the boards. Sheehy hustles in, puts it over the net. And outside the line it comes. The Canadiens 3-on-2. Strudlin inside the zone, but Leon Sickle, the linesman, says that Gilchrist came in first. And offside is called against the Canadiens.
If you're looking for a big screen TV, there is no better name than Pioneer. And there's no better place to see Pioneer than at Alco TV and Appliances. In Alexandria, call 703-780-5280. Or in Fredericksburg, Virginia, call 703-373-1797. Pioneer projection TVs from Alco TV and Appliances. The picture doesn't get any better than this.
Well, the Capitals have won their last 4 games here at the Cap Center and well on their way to winning number 5. A victory would put the Caps at 22 wins in this building on the season with 12 losses and 3 ties. And while that is not exactly as good as the Canadiens' 28-6-2 at the Forum, it's still a very, very good mark. And one that they hope to continue improving upon here during the final weeks of the season. Tonight, game number 72 out of 80 overall on the year. Almost playoff time. Wickenheiser looking for Steve Leach and taken away. Back comes Russ Courtnall. Has Corson floating in front of the net. There's the pass. It's deflected high up over the goal. Peters blocks it at the side of the net. And now Scott Stevens finds Leach on the right wing. Leach to center ice. Gets across the line. Wrist shot caught by Hayward and steered up the boards, and Wickenheiser's back out to center. Now we've got a pushing match right between the two benches. Leach and Corson are going to start at it again. This time Bob Roush steps in there. He has something to say. Johansson is alongside, and all this taking place between the two benches right near those where the doors open. They were in a line change, and as the players went back, the conversation kept going. Ron Beaupre's got the best seat in the house. The backup goalkeeper, he and Patrick Rock, and just look on from right where they're sitting.
Russ Courtnall is headed over to the Montreal bench. He's going to get a call for high sticking. So the Capitals, with 4:07 left to go in the game and a 4-1 lead, will have a 2-minute power play to work with, unless a Capital joins them. Let's check in with Jeff Rimmer.
Now let's get everybody caught up to date on our home team sports scoreboard. Georgetown win by 1 in the final seconds. They advance to the second round. It was George Mason at last report trailing by now a total of 32 points to the Indiana Hoosiers. The Bullets in New Jersey, well, it's a final now. Bernard King's three-pointer from the baseline wins it in overtime. Again, his shot at the buzzer put the game into OT. 76ers and the Bullets right back here at the Capitol Center tomorrow night. You'll see it live and exclusively on Home Team Sports. Tuesday night, the Orioles and the Yankees from Fort Lauderdale, and it's an 8 o'clock start. Let's go back upstairs.
Lou Franciscetti getting a cross-checking call. Russ Courtnall getting a high sticking call. 14:53, the time of the penalty, so no loss in manpower on either side. 5-on-5 in the skating department with 4:07 left to go.
Washington's third period goals from Cicerelli and Ridley. Bobby Smith has the lone Montreal score of the night. Back in the second period, the Caps heard from Dale Hunter and Dino Cicerelli. A scoreless first period for either side. Mike Keane to the corner, and Langway's got him. He nails him to the boards, and now Keane gets rambunctious trying to move the puck. It comes back to the point. Ludwig's shot blocked by Gustafson. He finds Christian on the left wing. Drop pass back to Gustafson. Walks in, a centering pass, and Cicerelli fires just wide. Christian a shot, that's blocked. Now Sheehy swings and misses. Keeps it inside the zone. Christian tries to keep the pressure on. Chelios comes back. Sends it outside the line, and Ludwig backtracks to center. Naslund to Gilchrist. Poked away by Gustafson, but Washington wanted a line change in play here in the third period. Washington leads 4-1. Gilchrist hit by Pavanka. And now Stevens sends it ahead for Ridley, and he puts it all the way out to center. Now a stick comes up high. Mike Ridley goes over to say something to Skrudland. Probably that he didn't mean it, but it will be of little consequence if Dave Newell makes a penalty call. And Skrudland is asking for that right now. Play was stopped. It's got to be a penalty. Unless they're going to call it offside.
Looking at him now, he's saying whose stick. Now they're telling him Ridley. Now he's going to make the call against Ridley.
I don't think he saw it, Al.
No, he didn't see it. And, you know, the other thing is Scott Stevens gets cross-checked to the ice from behind without a call because Dave Newell looks like he just wants to get the game over. Now he's going to make the call. Call it at both ends.
17, Washington. 5-minute major for high sticking in the game this summer.
Ridley, 5 minutes, please. Ridley.
So Ridley's out of here, a 5-minute major for high sticking. You know, that's fine. If he makes the call, if he sees it, fine. Do it that way. But if you're just playing the game out like it apparently was when Scott Stevens gets cross-checked from behind and sent to the ice, with Dave Newell standing 4 feet away from it and he won't make the call, why now? No question, it deserves to be called. Mike Ridley's got to keep the stick down. He definitely catches Strudlin up in the face. But it seemed like Dave Newell wasn't even going to make a call until all this attention was brought to him.
Did the linesman tell him?
Well, you could hear Newell going, who sticks? I don't know if it was the Canadiens or the linesman who told him Mike Ridley.
Well, it means an automatic game misconduct penalty. Along with a 5-minute high-sticking major for Ridley, the game has been decided. But for Ridley, if it should happen again, he'll get suspended.
Well,
something to think about when you come down the stretch here.
Certainly, you know, because it would be an inadvertent thing with Mike Ridley. Never known as a guy who brings the stick up. But here you got a major penalty to work with 1:55 left to go. The Montreal Canadiens are able to pop a couple in here. Really make a dramatic finish.
At the point, Chelios keeps it in, and Gustafson steals and clears all the way down the ice. Now Chelios. Ahead for Naslin, back into Washington ice. Gustafson again does the job. Mike McPhee drives it back into the Caps end. Sheehy after it. Battles with Corson. Bobby Smith skates away with a puck. Walks in front. Peters makes the save. It's loose, and Pete's got it. Only 1:04 left to go now in the third period. Here's how it happened.
See, this puck is loose. I don't think Neil Sheehy knows it's down in his skates. Sheehy makes a big whack at Bobby Smith. Oh, I guess it's Wickenheiser, not Sheehy. It's down loose in Wickenheiser's skates. And Rod Langway finally comes in to help Pete Peters out. 1:04 left to go in the contest. Capitals out shooting Montreal 26-21. 4-1 lead. Face-off now to Pete Peters' right. I guess it'll be to the left now. They've changed the direction of the face-off. What a great job so far by the Washington penalty killers. They've done a magnificent job all night long in this major penalty. They've killed off half of it that was left there for the 2 minutes remaining in the game.
Here's Chelios firing wide. We're in the final minute of play in the third period. Hayward remains in the Montreal net. Desjardins back into his own zone, has Kelly Miller right after him. Now Gilchrist bounces it into the corner. Desjardins back to chase it. Leads it to McPhee. Out at center, and Stevens clears it all the way down. Desjardins drives into the Washington zone. Stevens is back for it. He sends it ahead to center. It gets away from Gustafson. Gus would have had a breakaway. Time running out on the Montreal Canadiens in this contest. The fans all standing now, counting down the time as Chelios plays with a puck. That's the end of this one. The Washington Capitals crowding around goaltender Pete Peters, who saved for the one goal by Bobby Smith. Came very, very close to a shutout performance tonight, but certainly had a key role in picking up a victory. He was great against these Canadiens as Washington Washington wins 4-1 and now has 82 points. First place in the Patrick Division standings, now 3 ahead of Pittsburgh and 4 points ahead of the New York Rangers. Shots on goal in the third period. The Canadiens with 7, a game total of 21. And Washington with 11, a game total of 26 shots on the Montreal net. Montreal remains at first place in the Adams division with 105 points, 49 wins, 17 losses, or rather 18 losses now and 7 ties, while the Capitals at 36, 26, and 10. That evens up the season series between these two clubs. 1 victory for each team, plus that overtime scoreless tie up in Montreal earlier this year. Kevin Hatcher, Dino Ciccarelli, and Dale Hunter named stars number 3, 2, and 1 for tonight's contest. And we'll go downstairs right now where Jeff Rimmer is standing by with Dale Hunter. Jeff?
Thanks, Mike. The guy who got things going in the second period after a scoreless period. A big goal there, Dale, and a big win for the Caps tonight.
Well, you know, they're the first or second top team in the league, and, you know, it's a good all-around game. I think we played good from the net out, and it just showed by the score of 4-1, I think.
What's a win like tonight's mean to this hockey team, besides now a 3-point lead in the Patrick division?
Well, it gives us a lot of confidence and to be the top team in the league, and it shows that if we play as a team and from the goaltending out,